A seismic shift is underway in Asia, one that could redefine the region's energy landscape and reshape the balance of power for decades to come. This transformation is powered by a groundbreaking undersea energy link between Singapore and China, a feat of engineering that will connect two of Asia's most dynamic economies through a vast network of high-voltage cables running beneath the sea. In July last year, both nations signed a multi-billion-dollar agreement for Singapore to import up to 1.2 gigawatts of clean energy from China, enough to power hundreds of thousands of homes and businesses, and a clear signal of their shared commitment to a sustainable future. But this isn't just about electricity, it's about forging a new era of economic and strategic interdependence, where energy security and diplomatic ties are more closely intertwined than ever before. For resource-scarce Singapore, this deal is a lifeline, diversifying its energy sources, reducing its reliance on natural gas, and securing its future in an increasingly uncertain world. For China, it's a showcase of technological might, a demonstration of its ability to export clean energy at scale, and a strategic move toward regional clean energy dominance. The project, worth over $2.5 billion, will lay hundreds of miles of high-voltage cables across the South China Sea, overcoming technical and geopolitical challenges, and is expected to be operational by 2026. This physical link will deepen economic ties, increase influence, and accelerate capital flows between the two nations, creating new opportunities for trade and investment. As the world races to decarbonize, this deal positions Singapore and China as leaders in the global energy transition, while placing them at the very heart of Asia's geopolitical chessboard, where energy, economics, and diplomacy intersect. The agreement is more than an energy pact. It's a bold statement about who will shape Asia's future, setting the stage for new alliances, rivalries, and a reimagined regional order. For decades, Singapore's energy security has been built on a foundation of imported natural gas. This fuel has powered the city-state's rapid growth and kept the lights on in homes, offices, and factories across the island. Today, natural gas accounts for a staggering 95% of Singapore's electricity generation, making it the backbone of the nation's power supply. But this heavy reliance comes with significant risks. Global market shocks, supply disruptions, and volatile prices can threaten both energy security and economic stability, as seen during recent global crises. To address these vulnerabilities, Singapore's Green Plan 2030 sets an ambitious target. By 2035, the country aims to import 30% of its electricity from low-carbon sources, reducing its dependence on fossil fuels. However, Singapore faces unique challenges. With limited land for solar farms and no major rivers for hydropower, domestic renewable options are scarce, forcing the nation to look beyond its borders for clean energy solutions. The landmark energy deal with China marks the most significant step yet, paving the way for Singapore to secure a substantial portion of its clean energy needs from abroad. By tapping into China's vast hydropower and solar resources, Singapore can significantly cut its carbon emissions and move closer to meeting its Paris Agreement commitments. This strategic move not only shields Singapore's economy from the unpredictable swings of fossil fuel markets, but also strengthens its position as a leading green finance hub in Asia. Ultimately, this transition is about more than just energy. It's about building a resilient, forward-looking economy that can thrive in a low-carbon world and ensure prosperity for future generations. The agreement with China is a practical, innovative response to an existential challenge, one that demands bold action and international cooperation. By forging new partnerships and embracing clean energy, Singapore is setting a powerful example for the entire region, leading the way toward a sustainable energy future. This power deal does more than connect grids. It's a catalyst for a new era in regional relations, with consequences that ripple far beyond the energy sector. It redraws Southeast Asia's geopolitical map, shifting alliances and prompting countries to reconsider their positions in a rapidly evolving landscape. By supplying critical energy to Singapore, China gains new leverage and embeds itself in the region's infrastructure, making its presence felt in daily life and long-term planning. The undersea cable is a strategic asset running through contested South China Sea waters, and its very existence raises the stakes for all players in the region. Its security will be paramount, potentially increasing China's maritime presence and justifying a more assertive stance in these disputed waters. The project is a proof of concept for China's clean energy exports, setting a precedent for other ASEAN nations and signaling a shift toward sustainable development. China is positioning itself as Asia's green energy superpower, using innovation and investment to shape the region's future. This shift blurs the lines between economic and security influence, challenging the US-led order and forcing global powers to adapt to a new reality. Energy security is now a tool of statecraft, not just economics, as governments realize that control over power means influence over policy and security. The deal forces every nation in the region to rethink its strategic calculations, weighing the benefits of cooperation against the risks of dependency. China's role in Asia is deepening in ways trade alone never could, intertwining energy, security, and diplomacy into a new web of influence that will shape the region for years to come. Washington views the Singapore-China energy deal with deep concern. US officials fear China's growing control over critical infrastructure could translate into political leverage. The new Trump administration has escalated its rivalry with Beijing, launching trade wars and tech restrictions. At the recent Shangri-La dialogue, US leaders warned of China's intent to alter the regional balance of power. The US sees China's network of ports, railways, and now power lines as a web of influence. If a crisis erupts, the fear is China could use energy as a coercive tool. Washington urges allies to diversify and strengthen their strategic resilience. The deal highlights a widening gap between US and Asian partners on how to engage with China. Singapore's power deal with China is a masterclass in diplomatic hedging. The nation deepens economic ties with China while maintaining robust security links with the US, hosting American military forces. This dual approach lets Singapore benefit from both superpowers without choosing sides. ASEAN nations share this strategy, seeking an inclusive region rather than a battleground. But as US-China rivalry intensifies, the space for neutrality is shrinking. Washington sees the deal as a tilt toward Beijing, while Singapore insists on shaping its own destiny. The balancing act is getting riskier, with both giants demanding loyalty. For Singapore and its neighbors, the challenge is to maximize their interests without being caught in the crossfire. One misstep could have serious consequences. The power deal gives Singapore clean energy and economic stability, but also new vulnerabilities. Tying its grid to China means trusting a partner with a history of using economic leverage in disputes. If tensions rise, the undersea cable could become a point of pressure. Singapore's leaders know the risks, but bet that mutual dependence will deter coercion. Contingency plans, like backup gas plants, are likely in place. The deal deepens integration with China just as the US pushes for decoupling. Singapore is caught between its top economic and security partners. Managing this position will require deft diplomacy. The deal's success depends on both technical reliability and stable relations with China. The Singapore-China deal could be a blueprint for global energy cooperation. As nations seek to decarbonize, cross-border renewable energy trade is becoming vital. Undersea cables make it possible to move clean power across continents. Other countries like Japan, South Korea, and even European states are watching closely. The deal could spark a wave of regional energy markets and integration, but greater interconnection brings new geopolitical risks and dependencies. Choosing an energy partner is now a strategic decision. Competing energy blocs may emerge, with cable politics shaping global influence. The deal marks a pivotal moment in the energy transition, full of promise and peril. This single cable connects not just two countries but the future of climate, security, and global order.